my guitars is still in tune. Close enough. Writing songs in fiddle keys, burning bright as kerosene. I left home to chase a dream, but dream ain't what I found. Fighting mad in the neon lights, I came to as they read my rights. At least I know where I'll sleep tonight, so I guess it ain't all bad. Mama drove a Mustang when she was 25. Well, I was 6 years old. How the hell we stay alive? She flew down the highway just like Petty in his prime. Mama drove a Mustang when she was 25. Patron saint of where I come from, on a string around my neck. Nicotine on navy white, it ain't quite Christmas yet. And I would find a payphone now, but payphones don't exist. Thankful for what I still have and mourning all I'll miss. Mama drove a Mustang when she was 25. Well, I was 6 years old. How the hell we stay alive? She flew down the highway just like Petty in his prime. Mama drove a Mustang when she was 25. Well, I got pretty much everything I'd ever wanted, but I still didn't feel like enough. I was a sinner in the hands of an angry God, trying to figure out who I was. I ran so far alone, I forgot my way home. Wish like hell I had just turned around. It turns out what I need, I refuse to receive, and I'm still reckoning with that right now. Mama drove a Mustang when she was 25. And I was 6 years old. How the hell we stay alive? She flew down the highway just like Petty. Mama drove a Mustang. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go bald on this trip with that thing. I'll rip all my hair. I'm gonna have to wear one of those Bob Marley hats with the dreadlocks cooked in or something. I'm not gonna make it otherwise. So, my most recent album is called American Man, American Music. And I grew up playing all sorts of music, playing country music and folk music and rock music, and a lot of southern rock, because where I'm from, like when a child, like it's like when you turn 13, they hand you an Allman Brothers record, and they're like, here you go, son, go to work. That's right. One time, I was just telling this story before. One time, we were on a festival in Atlanta, And one of my friends was the horn section leader in Greg Allman's band for many years. And so they were going to play right after us. And he was like, oh, man, we'll be backstage. And Greg's going to be here. I'm going to bring him out to watch your set. I was like, fuck you. Do not do that. I'm not trying to fucking play guitar in front of Dwayne Allman's brother. You dumb? No way. And he was like, no, seriously. And I was like, no, seriously, don't bring Greg Allman to my show. I'll die from it. And so I was like, as a favor to me, keep him in there. Don't even let him out to go to the bathroom. Like, hold him. Man. We took my daughter, we go on a road trip as a family every summer. We took my daughter to Macon, and they have the Big House Museum where the boys had lived together, and we went to the H&H where they would eat. Yeah, it's cool. The food will kill you, but it's delicious. Yeah, it's very nice. It's very enjoyable. They gave my daughter a T-shirt, but because they're so associated with the Allman Brothers, it's a tie-dye T-shirt with mushrooms dancing on it. I was like, baby, you can't wear that to second grade. I'm gonna get in trouble. So we let that one be worn in the yard. I'm not trying to have her go to somebody's birthday party in a mushroom T-shirt. Get me in trouble. I got enough problems. So recently, she's gotten into singing all the time, and she wants to write songs. We wrote a song together this past year. And I was like, shit, it's just in there? Darn, I was hoping you wouldn't be interested in this. I was really banking on you becoming a doctor, but we've got a lot of guitars in my house, so unfortunately it doesn't look like we're going to medical school. It is pretty funny. But so I don't usually write a lot of topical songs. Usually I sort of sit down and I see what strikes me, but like probably if you're from America, probably every one of you knows somebody that got caught up in the opioid epidemic one way or another. And I certainly did and have known people who got stuck in that. And I got really furious about it. I was like, if a regular drug cartel had manufactured a new drug and found a way to sneak it to people and get a whole bunch of people addicted and killed them, surely we would wage war against these people. But the family that was in charge of doing this to all of us, they just kind of charged them some money, and then they were like, keep living your lives. It's fine. Nobody goes to prison. Totally fine. Get back on your private jet. Go somewhere fun. And so I was really pissed off about this, and I set out to write an angry song, but I realized pretty immediately that everybody that I know who's in recovery, they're like the most positive people in the world, and so it felt incorrect to write a song about them and have it not be positive, even though my own instinct was to be like, fuck those billionaires. They're trying to kill us all. It couldn't be that. So instead I wrote something more in line with the spirit of the folks that I know who are in recovery. This is called I Gotta Change or I'm Gonna Die. Pain pills started for a backache. Doctor dropped me like a lead weight. Now I cop off the interstate about 15 miles from here. Not the type you would expect. Work harder than the son of a bitch. Trying to raise up these 3 kids, keep them clothed and fed. Now what's a man worth if he can't work? Was I really made as a rich man's hammer? Is this all there'll ever be for me? I gotta change or I'm gonna die. I wanna live, so I'm gonna try. Give it my best, this ain't a test I plan to fail. Where I come from, they'll break a man. What I got now, I built with these hands. I'm not afraid to get a little dirt beneath my nails. This ain't a test I plan to fail. Oxys beat me like I owed them money. Still on my feet and I feel like running. Maybe somewhere it's always summer and leave these cares behind. But I got folks who depend on me. I rise in the dark cause I still believe if there's something good I just can't see it up around the bend. Now I gotta change or I'm gonna die. I wanna live, so I'm gonna try. Give it my best, this ain't a test I plan to fail. Where I come from, they'll break a man. What I got now, I built with these hands. I'm not afraid to get a little dirt beneath my nails. This ain't a test I plan to fail. I used to never take an Advil, but if I don't earn, we don't pay bills. Inside I'm screaming like an anvil when iron and hammer meet. I gotta change or I'm gonna die. I wanna live, so I'm gonna try. Giving my best, this ain't a test I plan to fail. Where I come from, they'll break a man. What I got now, I built with these hands. I'm not afraid to get a little dirt beneath my nails. This ain't a test I plan to fail. Lord, this ain't a test I plan to fail. Thank you very much. We're playing on this thing when we go back to Nashville. They call it the sober sessions, and it's a cool idea. It's for people who are in recovery that don't feel comfortable going to shows, because everywhere that you have a show is a place that they're trying to sell alcohol, whether it's in a club or a football stadium. They're hosting these events where they don't sell alcohol, and that's cool, and I was glad to participate. But one of the things I realized in going through all the songs I've ever written over the last, 30 years, is a lot of my songs are about drugs and drinking. And I didn't realize that until I needed to play at for a bunch of people who are going to come from a sober living facility. I was like, oh wow, I should probably consider that. I should probably look into that, which was it turned out to be a real challenge. So this next one. I worked on a loading dock when I was a kid, like a teenager, and a lot of the other people that worked on this loading dock were actual grown-ups, because children aren't supposed to unload trucks in the dark. But I was a fairly sturdy child, and I had very, very little oversight. So I kind of did what I wanted. And so I unloaded trucks in the dark sometimes before school was my job, while my friends worked at the grocery store. And so some of the guys on the loading dock, they were grown-ups. Like, I had a friend, his father worked on this loading dock, and he had a tattoo of the Zigzag Rolling Papers mascot on his forearm, but he also played Santa at the mall at Christmas time. So imagine, it's like the whole rest of the year, he's this badass, he's a biker. He looks like a biker, except for when he's Santa, and then he looks like Santa. So I was hanging out with a lot of those dudes, and I kind of started to realize I was having a lot of trouble. I was getting in a lot of trouble. I was fighting, and I was not listening in class, and I didn't want to listen to my parents or anybody really. I felt really lost, as can happen sometimes. And I remember on this loading dock, one day I was there and I was looking around. And I was thinking, my life right now, it's a lot like all the guys that are in their 20s that work on this loading dock. Like, none of us are married, we don't have kids, we make a little pocket change, we want to go out, maybe get a drink, maybe meet a girl, maybe try to meet a girl, I don't know, we'll see, that kind of thing. But I was like, so I could certainly do this for 10 more years, and some of these guys are 60 years old. I was like, I guess I could be out here forever. And there's nothing wrong with it. I knew I didn't want to be in my hometown anymore. I wanted to see if there was anything else out there. And so I figured music was the thing that I could do the best, that people might help me leave with. I wasn't probably going to be a brain surgeon, so or a commercial fisherman, obviously, as I told you. So And I had a teacher in the 7th grade. She took my Walkman, and my mom had to go to the school to get it back. And the lady told my mother, every boy that I've ever taught like this, he ends up going to prison. And the only hope that this boy has is if he learns a trade. And I'm not going to tell you the words that my mother used with this woman, but I will tell you this. In every situation in my life where I've ever done a good thing, ever since then, my mother is like, I'm going to find this bitch. And when I graduated college, she's like, before you put that diploma in a frame, I'm going to copy it. I'm going to find her. I'm going to mail it to her. We did a tribute to Aretha Franklin once. Rodney Crowell was there, actually. We did a tribute to Rodney. We did a tribute to Aretha Franklin. Rodney was there amongst many others. And my mom comes backstage afterwards, and she's got the playbill in her hand. And she's like, this is it. This is the thing I'm going to send this bitch. And I was like, Mama, this is 30 years ago. Like, you got to put this down, you know? She's like, I don't have to do shit. Finding what nursing home she's in, I'm going to get her. I was like, you got to chill out, lady. But she doesn't chill out. She doesn't have any chill in her. God bless her. And so I have been lucky, though. The world has been good to me. And so that everybody knows, over the course of the time that we were on this boat, I'm going to play 3 incredibly different shows. I'm going to do this one. Basically, I'm going to get quieter and quieter and quieter until eventually I'm just whispering. So this show, like I said, my dear friend Mr. Jerry Pentecost was here, and we were like, oh, let's bang on some shit. Let's make some noise. So this was all Jerry's idea. So if you hated it, point it at him. And then we got Jen and Kimber, who also showed up to make it like sound like good. So thank you to Jen and Kimber. And Zach's here. Give it up for Zach again. And so, anyway, so this first show obviously played like a electric band show, and the next one we're gonna play with some more of our bluegrass buddies. We're gonna get Vicky Vaughn from Delamay, and hell yeah, Vicky Vaughn, that's what I'm talking about. And Sean Richardson and Avery Merritt, who are here playing with Sierra. So it's gonna be a completely different thing, which I thought would be a fun challenge. So I encourage you to come watch us again, because every time I will be trying to do something different. Hopefully, as long as I don't ruin it. And again, for those of you who just got here, I'm Ron Pope. Great. I'm Ron Pope, and I really appreciate y'all taking the time to come sit with us, and just for being on this boat. Like, what an incredible experience this is. Oh, before I forget, they told me to tell you, you can go to the merch, and at the merch, they'll sell you recordings of all of an artist's shows while you're on the boat. So you can do that, not just for me, but for anyone. They said we were supposed to mention that to you, and I did. But also, in a related note, while you're there, buy some of my records on vinyl so I don't have to bring them home. Thank you. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. Carhartt jacket on, 5:30 a.m., feeling like the ace of spades. 15 years old, work till the sun comes, then I'm off to school again. Working my back as a young man taught me I'd rather work my mind. So we'd cop a little smoke and crack a couple jokes, just trying to learn to survive. I wanted to work to live, no, not just live to work. I had a pain deep in my bones beneath my t-shirt. Was a young man singing an old man's song, paying with my last dimes. But working to live beats living to work anytime. I had a teacher, she told my mother that she'd better find me a trade. Because boys like me, well, we all grow up to be long-term guests of the state. And I worked hard because I had to. I never found much luck till I built my world around a Georgia girl who told me that I was enough. And that's true. I wanted to work to live, no, not just live to work. I had a pain deep in my bones beneath my t-shirt. Was a young man singing an old man's song, paying with my last dimes. But working to live beats living to work anytime. Sometimes at night I wake with a shiver, sweat soaking clean through my sheets. But then I remember I am who I am, not who they said I would be. Yeah, I wasn't born with nothing except a voice and common sense. Maybe that's why I took off running the first chance that I had. I wanted to work to live, no, not just live to work. I had a pain deep in my bones beneath my t-shirt. Was a young man singing an old man's song, paying with my last dimes. But working to live beats living to work anytime. Oh, working to live beats living to work anytime. Thank you. That'll be 6 minutes. We have an idea. We decided that we would play a song that we all know, because we have a few more minutes, and I'm not going to shortchange you here on this boat. We want to extra change you, or whatever. What the fuck? What is the opposite of short change? Reward. I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna extra. We're gonna give a bonus. I'm gonna play the full amount of time. That will be the bonus. Man, I really do feel so lucky to get to be here. I don't take for granted. Most people in their adult lives, they don't get to play very much. They take away the things that we do that we call play. When you're a musician, you get to play all your life, and I feel very blessed that this is my job. So thank y'all for being here and letting my friends and I make art as our job. We appreciate y'all. So we're going to play a Neil Young song. Yeah, again, we'll see. I've been really shooting from the hip tonight. Here we go. There's a town in North Ontario, a dream, comfort, memory to spare. And in my mind, I still need a place to go. All my changes were there. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. And the big birds were flying across the sky. They're throwing shadows on our eyes. helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Blue, blue windows behind the stars. Yellow moon on the rise. And the big birds were flying across the sky. They're throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Baby, 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 baby. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Sing with me somehow. Helpless, helpless, helpless. The chains are locked, they're on the door. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Thank y'all so very much. I'm Ron Pope, and we'll see you again on this boat. Have a great time. We're glad you're here.